99% of the time, they're suffering. So a lot of their workflow is quite intentional. I have this problem, I need to find a solution now.
What does it mean to be a developer right now?
I think developers are going through a tectonic shift. There's a lot of discussion around what it means to be a developer, the definition of a developer, what does it mean to be great as a developer. I'm long on developers. I think they're going to become 100 times more important to our future than everything they've been doing for us in the last several decades. Eventually, when you think about who is a developer, there's used to be these people who write code for a living. Now it's sort of been democratized to some extent, and the ability to produce some level of code has been outsourced to different agents and different LLMs, etc. So now all of a sudden everyone can build some level of software. So it could be people that used to be developers 15, 20 years ago, but they switched to management or they've gone through different roles. Or it could be product managers that have very strong technical orientation, or it could be even designers that have some passion for software. It could be this outer layer of people who are generally technical, but they don't write code for a living. And all of a sudden they have access to the ability to create. And the conversation moves more towards, am I building the right things? Mm-hmm. Do I have the level of understanding that's required in order to ruthlessly prioritize what I'm working on? How do I bring an impact to the organization, which is way beyond the number of lines of codes that I produce or the amount of features that I've built. And this is the very thing that makes them passionate about what they do. This is almost, for other people, this is why they're in development. So imagine you were doing your thing and you would spend decades on perfecting your craft, only to someone all of a sudden tell you your craft doesn't matter anymore. You should look here.
Outsource it to this agent.
Yeah.
One of the things about developers is you want them to have attention of whatever you're doing that's useful for them. What are some of the advice you can give to those who are marketing to developers, that are trying to get developer adoption?
There's several layers to it, but I think that no matter in what angle you look at it, eventually developers are just the type of people who are intelligently curious. If you're in developer marketing, the most important aspect of your work is to make sure that by the time the developer actually has the problem, you're already top of mind for them. Then the question is, how do you achieve that? To make sure that you're present wherever they're present, right? You want to think of all the different junctions in the internet, and you want to have a sign there that says, hey, I'm here. Another thing could be with developer communities. You really want to be present there. You really need to be in front of these people. You want to show them cool case studies. You want to show them cool examples. You want to show them how they can break your tool, which is so funny. But developers really like to break things and see and kind of stretch it to the edge.
Yeah, daily.dev is really a nexus of where we see what developers are most engaged in. What are they talking about? Have you got anything you can share with those in developer relations, developer marketing, on what kind of approaches are really likely to work best and what to experiment with?
99% of the time, they're suffering. They need to take care of bugs. They suffer because they need to find answers to questions. They need to deal with all sorts of burning issues, etc. So a lot of their workflow is quite intentional. I have this problem, I need to find a solution now. I have this bug, I need to fix it. I have this question, I need to find an answer. So the place where you can actually make impact is to try and be in places where they discover. There's not a lot of these places. Some of them are general purpose social media, and some of them are more focused platforms that are built for developer discovery, and daily.dev's among those places that you probably want to check out.
What's the one thing we're not talking about that we really should be?
Community became almost the default for everyone. Everyone wants to have a community, everyone wants to start a community, etc. When you actually look at some of the most successful communities out there, there was never a mastermind behind it that was sitting and saying, all right, we need to build a community, that's going to be the strategy, that's going to be the roadmap, those are going to be the milestones. It doesn't happen like that. You are the community, you need that, and you happen to start interacting with other like-minded individuals, and then from a group of 2 or 3 or 4 people that are passionate about something, it becomes a movement that other people get attracted to. Next thing you know, it's a community. A lot of marketers abuse the word community, and yeah, it's okay to have a group for support, and it's okay to have events to educate. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is a community, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have a community. One of the interesting questions to us, do I really need a community? What's the goal I'm trying to achieve? Is growing a community something that's organic to my business, or is that going to be artificial to my business? And I think this is something we're not talking enough about.